Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the EFRAG Update podcast. My name is Chiara del Prete. I am the chair of the Sustainability Reporting Technical Aspect Group here in EFRAG, and I will update you on the activities for sustainability reporting in the months of August and September. I would start with the ongoing efforts of simplification of the ESRS standards enacted in 2023, where in August and September, we had an intense outreach season to collect feedback on the exposure drafts issued in July this year. In particular, we had 21 outreach events between August and the beginning of October, which were very well attended by more than 3,000 participants, and they were organized jointly with various business associations or national standard setters or associations of other stakeholder categories. We also issued videos to support the consultation. You can find them on YouTube, and they illustrate the amendments for the various standards. In August and September, we also had interviews with the preparers in the context of a field test on two specific areas of the amendments. One is the new guidance on how to consider mitigation, prevention, and remediation actions in assessing materiality, so-called gross versus net issue. And the other is the approach to calculate the adequate wages metric outside the EU. And these are two areas where the amendments introduce new approaches, so the importance to test. The board and the TAG will now consider the outcome of this field test as part of their redeliberation in finalizing the standards. The consultation ended on the 29th of September. We are very pleased of the very good level of engagement that we got, with more than 700 submissions received either via online survey or via comment letters. We're now analyzing those letters and the feedback. We're going to present the feedback to the TAG and the board on the 14th of October based on a sample, and then in November based on the complete analysis. Changing subject, another important stream of activities is our ecosystem to support the adoption of the voluntary standard for small medium enterprises that EFRAG issued in December last year. And an important news is that in July, the European Commission has adopted the standard as a recommendation. We expect this to contribute largely to the adoption of the standard on a voluntary basis, both by the users as a replacement of their questionnaires, and of course, by SMEs as a reporting tool. This standard was developed and tested for companies with less than 250 employees, but it's also important to note that the Omnibus proposal identifies this standard as the basis of a future delegated act to be issued for a standard to be applied on a voluntary basis by the companies that are not anymore in scope of the CSRD. So for sure, more to come on this front. We are also very active as part of this VSME ecosystem on a number of deliverables that we expect to release between now and November. First, we are working on support guide to help implement a very difficult for SMEs requirement, which is the narrative areas of the description of practices, policies, and future initiatives. So we are issuing 3 guides, one on practices, policies, and initiatives, the other one on targets and climate transition, and the other one for severe human rights incidents. They intend to be illustrative of possible reporting practices. We also issued videos to support the understanding of the requirements of VSME, and so you can find them in our website. We are also making an effort to make the videos and the other material available in several languages of the European Union. Another front where we are active as part of the VSME ecosystem is the mapping of initiatives, tools, and platforms. It is very important that companies can understand if there are already support materials, tools, and platforms available on the market that they can use. So on the 25th of September, we issued 2 reports, one to map the GHG calculators and the other to map the platforms and templates that exist. You can find them on our webpage. They've been the result of a call for interest plus a selection that we made. And important to note that we didn't assess the compliance of all these tools and platforms with the standard itself. In some cases, it was based on self-assessment. Moving now to have a look at what happened in terms of TAG board meeting. There was a joint meeting of the sustainability reporting TAG and the financial reporting TAG on the 4th of September, where we got a presentation of the connectivity paper prepared by the financial reporting team, and we discussed its content. We also had a joint meeting between the Sustainability Board and Sustainability TAG to present the results of the events that we held until September, the outreach events on the exposure drafts. Overall, the amendments have been very well received, and the key levels of simplification implemented in the exposure drafts are supported. However, there are areas of improvements that we received from the stakeholders. The board had a meeting on the 3rd of September and 16th of September. On the 3rd of September, we discussed the work plan, which was then approved on the 16th of September. On the 16th of September, we also discussed the directions and the work plan for the SASB consultation, so for the feedback that EFRAG will provide to the SASB. The technical expert group had a private meeting on the 8th of October for an update on outreach activities and to update them on the work plan, and also to receive an education from the ISSB staff on their issue, on their guide on transition plan, and we had a Q&A. And sorry, this was the ISSB presentation was public. On the 11th of September, we had a closer discussion on the status of digitalization from ESMA for the XBRL translation of ESRS reports, and we worked on VSME and SASB consultation. On the 23rd of September, we updated the tag on interoperability, and we had the discussion on the SASB consultation. Before I leave you, there is one important announcement I wanted to make. Save the date for the 4th of December, because we are going to organize a conference to mark the issuance of the simplified ESRS, but also to pay tribute of our chair, who is stepping down at the end of his first mandate. So stay tuned. 4th of December, we will soon launch the detail of the events. This wrap up our review for sustainability reporting for the months of August and September. Stay tuned for the next episode, which we expect to issue at the beginning of November. In October, a lot is going on, as you have understood from my review of today. And in particular, we will update you on the directions of the amendments. Thanks a lot for your attention.